Welcome back everyone, and thank you for being here today. If you love hidden treasures, everyday objects with extraordinary stories, and the idea that something sitting quietly in your pocket could be worth a life-changing fortune, then you are absolutely in the right place. Today we're diving into a coin most people have held thousands of times without ever giving it a second glance. A simple copper-colored piece of change. A coin that usually buys almost nothing on its own. And yet, under the right circumstances, this exact coin has been whispered about as being worth an unbelievable $221 million. Yes, we're talking about the 2001 1-cent United States coin, a penny that looks ordinary on the surface but hides a world of fascinating possibilities beneath its familiar design. The 2001 1-cent coin is a Lincoln penny, part of a series that has been produced for more than a century. By the time 2001 arrived, the Lincoln cent had already become one of the most recognizable coins in the world. It was everywhere. In jars, drawers, car cup holders, old wallets, and piggy banks. Because of that, most people stopped paying attention to it. The irony is that this exact lack of attention is what allows rare examples to slip through unnoticed. In 2001, millions upon millions of pennies were minted across different U.S. mint facilities, primarily Philadelphia and Denver, with some specially produced proof coins coming from San Francisco. On paper, the coin was common. In reality, within that ocean of ordinary pennies, a tiny number were created with mistakes so unusual and so dramatic that they transformed these humble cents into legendary collectibles. At first glance, the 2001 penny follows the traditional Lincoln design that had been used for decades. Abraham Lincoln's profile faces right on the obverse, bearing the date 2001 and the familiar inscription that Americans have seen for generations. The reverse, depending on the version, still carried the Lincoln Memorial design, which was used from 1959 until 2008. Everything about it feels normal. That's exactly why collectors are so fascinated when something goes wrong during the minting process. Errors on coins are not intentional. They are accidents, mechanical failures, human oversights, or unexpected interactions between metal, machinery, and pressure. And sometimes, those accidents are so extreme that they produce coins that should never exist at all. One of the most talked about reasons the 2001 1-cent coin can be valued at astronomical levels is the possibility of extreme minting errors. Minting errors occur when something goes wrong at any stage of the coin production process. That process includes preparing the metal blanks, called planchets, striking the design onto those blanks, and inspecting and distributing the finished coins. When any one of these steps goes wrong in a rare and dramatic way, the resulting coin becomes a unique artifact. In the case of the 2001 penny, certain hypothetical combinations of errors could push its value into the hundreds of millions. Imagine a penny struck on the wrong metal planchet. Normally, pennies from 2001 are composed primarily of zinc with a thin copper coating. But what if a blank meant for an entirely different coin, or even a foreign coin or experimental metal, accidentally made its way into the penny press? A 2001 penny struck on a bronze planchet, a silver planchet, or an experimental alloy would immediately stand out. The wrong weight, the wrong color, the wrong sound when dropped on a table. These off-metal strikes are among the most coveted errors in numismatics. Now imagine combining an off-metal strike with other errors, such as a missing mint mark or a doubled design. Suddenly, the coin becomes something truly extraordinary. Double strikes are another major category of errors that can turn an ordinary penny into a multi-million-dollar phenomenon. A double strike occurs when a coin is struck more than once by the dies, often with a misalignment between strikes. This can cause overlapping images, ghostly outlines of Lincoln's face, or distorted lettering that looks almost melted or stretched. While minor double strikes are already valuable, an extreme double strike, especially one that includes rotation or offset, pushes the coin into legendary territory. For a 2001 penny to display a dramatic double strike that escaped quality control would be incredibly rare, but not impossible. Then there is the concept of double dies, which is different from a double strike. A double die occurs when the die itself, which is used to strike coins, has a doubled image due to a misalignment during its creation. Every coin struck with that die will show the same doubling. In the past, double die pennies have become some of the most famous and valuable coins in American history. If a 2001 penny were discovered with a previously unknown double die featuring extreme, clear doubling on Lincoln's face, the date, or the lettering, it would immediately attract global attention. Combine that with pristine condition and a rare mint mark situation, and the value skyrockets. Mint marks play a crucial role in determining a coin's rarity and value. In 2001, pennies were produced mainly at Philadelphia, which traditionally does not use a mint mark, and Denver, which uses AD mint mark. Proof coins came from San Francisco and carry an S mint mark. A missing mint mark where one should exist, or an incorrect mint mark, is one of the most intriguing possibilities for collectors. Imagine a 2001 penny that was struck at the Denver Mint but somehow lacks its D mint mark entirely. Or even more bizarre, a penny with a mint mark that does not belong there at all. These anomalies raise serious questions about how the coin was produced and how it escaped detection. One of the most mysterious and fascinating possibilities involves transitional errors. Transitional errors happen when the U.S. Mint changes the composition or design of a coin, and some coins end up being struck using the wrong materials or dies from a previous or future period. While 2001 was not a major transition year for pennies, the possibility of experimental materials or test planchets still exists. If a 2001 penny were struck on a planchet intended for an entirely different era or denomination, it would represent a physical record of a mistake that should never have happened. These kinds of errors are the stuff of numismatic legend. Condition is another critical factor. Even the rarest error coin loses value if it is heavily damaged, corroded, or worn. For a 2001 penny to reach an estimated value of $221 million, it would need to be in extraordinary condition, possibly uncirculated or proof-like, with crisp details and minimal imperfections aside from the minting error itself. High-grade coins are exponentially rarer than worn ones, especially when combined with extreme errors. The idea that such a coin could exist at all is what fuels the imagination of collectors worldwide. There is also the psychological and historical aspect of value. Coins are not valued solely based on metal content or age. They are valued based on stories, rarity, demand, and the excitement they generate. A 2001 penny tied to a one-of-a-kind error, especially one that challenges existing knowledge of the minting process, would become a centerpiece of any collection. Museums, private collectors, and investors would all compete to own it. This intense competition drives prices to levels that seem unbelievable to the average person. Another factor that adds to the mystique of the 2001 1-cent coin is how easily it could be overlooked. Unlike gold coins or large silver dollars, a penny is small, light, and often dismissed as insignificant. That means a rare example could sit unnoticed for years, passed from hand to hand, mixed with thousands of ordinary pennies. There are stories of rare coins being discovered in loose change, inherited collections, or even rolls from the bank. The idea that a $221 million coin could still be out there, hiding in plain sight, is part of what makes this topic so captivating. Errors involving misaligned dies can also play a major role. A misaligned die can cause part of the design to be missing, shifted, or distorted. In extreme cases, the design might be struck partially off the planchet, leaving blank areas or clipped appearances. These dramatic visual errors are instantly recognizable and highly collectible. A 2001 penny with a severe misalignment combined with other anomalies would be considered a once-in-a-lifetime find. There is also the phenomenon of die cracks, die breaks, and cuds. Over time, the dies used to strike coins wear down and can crack. When these cracks become severe, chunks of the die can break away, leaving raised blobs of metal on the coin's surface. While minor die cracks are relatively common, massive die breaks that dramatically alter the coin's appearance are far rarer. A 2001 penny displaying a large, unusual cud that changes Lincoln's portrait or obscures major design elements could become incredibly valuable, especially if it is unique. Some collectors also speculate about the possibility of mule coins. A mule coin is struck using mismatched dies, such as a die intended for one coin paired with a die from another denomination or design. Mule errors are